Every intro needs a strong hook to draw the viewer into the rest of the video. No, that's not what I meant.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Rob, welcome to 2020 and welcome back to vidIQ. If this is your first time here, we have a YouTube tool and channel that aims to educate you on your YouTube journey. And if it is your plan to grow your YouTube channel in 2020, for all of the latest tips, tricks, advice and news, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. As always, school is in session. However, if you need more than just a school, say a full academy that will launch your YouTube channel to the next level, check out the links in the video description and I'll tell you a little bit more about it later on. But first of all, we promised 20 tips to kickstart your YouTube channel in the video title, so let's start delivering on that promise. So amazingly, there are still some people out there who are thinking of starting a YouTube channel and have been for months, possibly even years. My advice to you is, ready or not, start now. And I'm not telling you this as a New Year's resolution. Every moment you hesitate or procrastinate, there are thousands of video creators starting their YouTube channel today and gobbling up all your potential audience. You don't want that. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Start, press record. Record whatever you want today. Doesn't matter if it doesn't end up on YouTube. You need to gain experience of getting in front of camera, getting behind camera, using your editing program. You need to start creating content to find out whether or not you enjoy making videos before you know whether or not you enjoy being a YouTuber. The chances are that first video is going to absolutely suck. Fantastic! You've made a video, you've made the first step, and in 6 months' time you'll look back at that first video and think, yeah, that really was terrible. But you've got to start the journey somewhere. And with that, you've got to start your YouTube channel somewhere as well. Even if you're not ready, create a YouTube account, upload a video to YouTube. You don't have to publish it, that's the important thing. You need to gain experience going through the workflow of uploading videos. The last thing you want is having a brilliant video ready to upload, but you don't know how the YouTube system works. Again, experience is going to trump any advice any of us can give you, so record a video, upload it to YouTube. You don't have to publish it. While getting some practical experience behind you is obviously a good thing, you also want some form of strategy. So answer these questions, put them in the comments below. What do you want your channel to achieve on YouTube? And when you're answering this, try and answer it from a viewer's perspective, not your perspective. So I don't want to hear about hitting 10,000 subscribers, 1 million views or whatever. If your viewers know that you're in it for your own self-gain, they will see through it and immediately switch off. Viewers want to know what they can gain from the content, and you want to sell that as much as possible in your videos. Who is your target audience? Again, try and be as specific as possible. What age range? What gender, if you are going to a particular gender? What type of demographic? What are they interested in? You need to know who's going to watch your content. And even more crucially, why should they watch your content? There are millions of gaming channels out there, hundreds of thousands of Fortnite channels out there. How are you going to distinguish your content from everybody else who's already on YouTube making content? You need to disrupt the status quo, not join it, because you'll never be seen. And finally, how are you going to deliver this content? Is it going to be every day, once a week, at a particular time of the day? Think about when your audience is most likely to watch YouTube and how much YouTube they can watch per week, and then tailor your content to those watching habits. And think about whether you're going to do video on demand, live streams, what's going to be best for you and your audience. This is whetting your appetite, isn't it? You want to go into a lot more detail on these strategies. And you're right, we're barely scratching the surface here, which is why you need the vidIQ Academy. Along with all of the vidIQ tools you've come to know and love, the vidIQ Academy will nourish your learning of YouTube and helping you grow your channel faster today. The Academy is launching with 6 courses that go into monumental detail about keyword research, making thumbnails that get clicks, and a complete beginner's guide to making money on YouTube. And if you haven't started your YouTube channel yet, we've got a course that will help you launch it in 30 days, taking everything we talk about in this video and ratcheting up the volume to 11. Whew, that's pretty loud. The vidIQ Academy is available to all vidIQ Pro and Boost users. As I've said already, check out the links in the video description. Let's get back to the tips. If you're a regular to our channel and the live streams, you'll know this one off by heart. Niche down. Let me give you a quick example. What's your channel about? If you give me an answer such as, my channel's about beauty, and it's about travel, and it's about vlogging, then it's about too many things. get rid of all of the ands. It should be about one specific topic when you start your channel because you need to appeal to a very specific audience. Once you've grown your channel and you've got millions of subscribers who fall in love with you, you can take them on a journey wherever you want. But to begin with, the audience is only interested in the content. They have no investment in you. Try and remember that. It's a cruel lesson to understand, but it will help you when you first start out on YouTube. Once you've thought about and answered all of these questions, I want you to wrap it all up in a nice little present called your value proposition. This is your elevator pitch. Try and tell your audience who you are and why they should watch you in around about 6 words. For example, our value proposition is educating your YouTube journey. It tells you the who, YouTubers, video creators, and why they should watch, because they will learn how to grow their channels. But we've managed to do that in 4 words. Now it's your turn. If you've just started out on YouTube and you're wondering what your first tech upgrade should be, it is 100% audio, and here's why. Bad audio is so much more distracting than bad video, and everybody hates onboard microphones. So if you can, get yourself a dedicated microphone for your camera, and if you're recording from a computer, you can't go far wrong with a Blue Yeti. Videos need structure, so when you make your next video, try to think of how you will develop a show formula that you can use as a template for your future videos. Remember at the beginning of this video, I literally gave you a hook, an introduction, a teaser to what's going to be going on for the rest of this video. Then we had the branded intro, followed by an introduction to who we are for new viewers, a call to action to subscribe to our channel, and then we jumped into the meat of the content where we are right now. And at the end of this video, you'll see how we round this all up. Your show formula will take time to structure, and it will evolve over the course of your YouTube journey. Try and keep an eye out for this when you watch your favorite YouTubers. As rough and as random as they might appear, there is always structure and story behind each video, and that's why you watch them. Some people love analytics, others hate them, but there are a couple that are crucial to keep an eye on whether or not you want to look at the analytics. The first is click-through rate. This represents how enticing your titles are and how clickable your thumbnails are. Check the click-through rate for your channel as a whole and on individual videos as you test. I'm not going to give you all of the same target to reach. Check what your current click-through rate is, and whether it's 2, 4, 6 or 8%, I want you to try and improve that by 2 to 3% this year. It will bring in so many more views. The other metric, as it always has been, is watch time. Generally speaking, the more watch time you get, the more YouTube is going to promote your content. But if you make shorter videos, that doesn't necessarily mean you must make longer videos, because your audience might not react very well to those longer videos. What I will say is maximize the value of your watch time in the videos that you have. That's by looking at relative audience retention. How does your video stack up to similar videos in terms of whether people are still watching or not? And try and improve the relative audience retention. Having said that, if your average view duration is 60, 70, 80%, you're doing really well, and it gives you license to try testing longer videos. 3 quick things I want you to do now if you are new to YouTube. First of all, verify your YouTube account. That will give you access to the most important tool on YouTube, which is custom thumbnails. We've got a video over here on how to do it. Next, create a channel banner, because if I see another generic cityscape or rolling hills in the channel banner when we do channel audits, I'm going to rip out my hair. And write out a channel about section that first of all addresses what the viewer is going to get from your channel, introduce who you are a little bit next, and then reinforce what the viewer is going to get with even more good stuff in another paragraph. YouTube does search these channel descriptions, so it also helps with your SEO. If you're going to be filming outside most of the time, brilliant, you've got all the natural light in the world. However, if you're filming indoors, you probably want to invest in some proper studio lighting, because it will have a massive impact on the quality of your videos. We talked about audio earlier, but lighting can really help with your videos much more than, say, a new camera, at least in my opinion. And when you've got enough lights to play around with all of this fancy stuff, yeah, it can really look quite cool, can't it? I knew this thing wouldn't work. There. Now for a whistle-stop tour of some thumbnail tips and tricks. If humans are going to be in the thumbnail, think of the 3 E's: eyes, excitement, and emotion. Connect the people with the viewer and they're more likely to click on the thumbnail. Use colourful backgrounds that help separate the foreground and backgrounds that contrast with competitors so that you really stand out when people are scrolling through the search results and their browse feeds, because your thumbnail looks so different to everybody else's. Oversaturate the colours in your thumbnails to give them more pop when they are reduced in size. You can also sharpen the thumbnails for exactly the same reasons. Use the thumbnail to tease the story of the video itself. You want to entice people to click, but not to give them the whole story so they have no reason to click. If you're doing tutorials, show the viewer the payoff in the thumbnail. They'll still need to watch the video to know how to get there. Design small. Remember, you will create your thumbnail on a full screen, but all of your viewers will see the thumbnail at this size. And when you finish the thumbnail, take an objective look at it and say to yourself, would I click on this thumbnail? If you're not likely to, neither are your viewers. You are right in that we barely scratched the surface of thumbnails there, so we do have a full playlist over there. And, as you might guess, we've got even more in the vidIQ Academy. Don't just record footage, make sure to edit it as well. It may often be the case that you have half of your footage on the cutting room floor that you never use, and that's fine, because you only want the best and tightest footage to put to an audience. You can also use editing to shave off those little pauses at the beginning, the middle, the end of your talking, and also think about pattern interrupts. Have you noticed something different about this part of the video? It's because I'm not using any pattern interrupts. I'm just talking, and it's probably getting a little bit boring for you now because I'm not doing any of the sound effects, the music's not playing, the camera's not changing and shifting angles a little bit. And you see, I paused here and I've got it wrong. I'm not going to edit this out. I'm going to keep it in because that's where you'd want to edit your wrong stuff out. Anyway, where was I? Pattern interrupt. It allows you to keep the viewer engaged by changing something in the scene every 5 to 10 seconds. Try that the next time you're editing your videos, and instead of a minute long worth of rambly stuff, you'll get a clean 15-second footage that your audience will enjoy a lot longer. I wonder if my audience retention right now has just fallen off a cliff. If it has, point proved. This is something I have to constantly remind myself because it's so easy to change persona when you press a record button. Remember to be you. There's only one of you in the entire world, unless you have an identical twin. Your audience wants to see something different, something that they can't get anywhere else. And they can only get that from you if you are uniquely you. If you try to imitate somebody else, it won't feel authentic and your audience will see right through it. When you start to relax and be you on camera, as hard as that can sound to begin with when you press record, your audience will start to react to you. Now, it could be that the audience loves you or the audience hates you. The important thing is that they feel something about you. That's what you want from your audience. And you can ignore all of the people who hate you. You don't need to care about them. You need to put all of your love into those who love you back. Embrace your audience. But the moment you start to worry about the judgment of your audience, that's when you start to change on camera and you don't be you anymore. All of the mannerisms, the way you talk, the quirks that you have, embrace them and share them on YouTube. Because if you don't, that's going to leave a mark on your ego. Alright, time to get into some keyword research basics now. Get into the head of what your typical target audience viewer is likely to search for on YouTube and create content and titles and metadata around those search terms. The YouTube search bar itself is a super powerful tool because it auto predicts what people are searching for depending on the time of year. For example, as I record this at the end of December, if I type in just the word star, it brings me back all of the results for Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of a Skywalker, because that is trending right now. Use it on your own topic to find out what people are searching for and again make content around those subjects. Use the vidIQ tools to find out what keywords have potential on YouTube, those being with high search volume but low competition. And although tags are no longer important, it's still interesting to look at the metadata that other creators are using because it represents the detail and level of research that goes into their content. I will still argue that it's much better to give YouTube as much information about your video as possible rather than none at all. It may give you the marginal edge versus other videos who are competing with you who are a similar size. And once again, that is a fraction of a percentage of the knowledge we have about keyword research. We have a big video over here, but we have even more information in an hour-plus course on the vidIQ Academy. When you start to make videos on a particular topic, you become part of that YouTube community. Make sure to join it. And by that I mean watch other people's content and post comments, add to the discussion. People will start to recognize your name in the comments, and by adding value, not just trying to spam your own stuff, people will be interested in you and come to watch your content. And who knows, the video creator themselves might recognize you after a while and you could potentially do a collaboration. Try not to think of other video creators in your space as competition, but collaborators. The nature of video creating on YouTube forces it into a singular, sometimes lonely experience. And there are millions of video creators who do this, but they're all working towards the same goal, to make an impact on a shared audience. Why not share the creating experience as well? You get to share your audience with somebody else's audience and vice versa. Just remember this at the forefront of your communication with others. It's all about the value that you can add, not what you can take out of it. That comes afterwards, and it becomes a far greater reward when you achieve this. Got some quick YouTube description tips for you now. The first 2 lines of your video description are super important because they can be seen when people are going through the search results on a YouTube page. So try to write your description as if you were writing a traditional tweet of 140 characters. Make it super valuable, full of metadata, and further tease the viewer into the video. Somewhere within the description, try and write a paragraph that includes as many of the keyword phrases as possible for the video, but make sure that it still reads as a proper English sentence. And if you can, try to add timestamps of your video, because they may end up on Google search, which gives you another avenue of YouTube views. If you're this deep into the video, you've probably got a lot of this in abundance, but it does bear repeating because YouTube can be a tough game. To succeed as a video creator, you are going to need determination and patience. You may take all the advice from many sources, all good, put it into practice, and then you may see very little in return for a very long time. You could be 200 videos and 6 months into this and wonder, why am I not gaining views and subscribers? And then all of a sudden, it happens overnight and you have a viral moment for your channel. For a lot of creators on YouTube, overnight success takes weeks, months, sometimes even years. Just remember this, if you're putting in hard work and the analytics are telling you good things as well as your audience, eventually YouTube will stop ignoring you and start to distribute your content to more people. But it does sometimes take a little longer than what you might think. With that in mind, I want you to set goals that are achievable in the next month to 3 months. Rather than setting your first goal to monetize your content, try and go for something more obtainable, like 50 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 10,000 views. Those sort of step-by-step targets that you can celebrate on an incremental level until you reach those big goals. If your first goal is to monetize your content on YouTube, again, you're thinking about how you can extract as much as possible from YouTube as opposed to providing as much value to your audience as possible. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. All words and phrases you should never use at the end of a video. The moment a viewer can sniff that you're trying to wrap up a video using trigger words such as that, they will immediately switch off. You should be keeping the viewer engaged right up to the moment the video ends. Yes, you can have calls to action to ask people to subscribe to your videos down here, or you can remind them that there is a vidIQ Academy which is going to add so much to what you're watching right here. But never tell a viewer that it's basically time to switch over. And with that, we are going to end. Good luck with your YouTube channels in 2020. Enjoy the rest of your video making day.